Going on, so everybody's going to hear what we're saying. It's also getting broadcasted on FM within about a quarter mile. Everything in the room's being broadcasted and recorded.
Be nice, dude.
Too much technology to turn on. All right, I'm gonna clean it up. All right.
Ready?
They're ready.
All right, welcome everybody. We'll call to order at 7:30. Will please stand for the pledge of the flag and shorten the vote. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we ask that you guide our decisions tonight to best benefit the residents of Osnaburg Township. We ask that you keep all our road crews and employees safe as they go out on the roads and work. And we ask that you look out for our paramedics, firefighters, and everybody else in the township as they go about their business. Amen. Do you have anything to add to the agenda?
I'd like to have an executive session at the end of the meeting. We will not take action, just a discussion.
Maybe we should do it.
You want to do it earlier? It's fine.
I think we should do it at the beginning of the fire.
Sounds good.
So
Whatever you'd
you're
like.
moving it to the fire?
Yes.
And that's my only addition for the agenda tonight. Thank you.
One thing I have, Trustee Puro and Barron is under new business, contract for Republic disposals.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about that if I could.
All right.
Trustee Griffith is on vacation tonight. She'll be back for the next meeting. So hopefully she's having a good time wherever she's at. Okay, we'll move on to the trustee meeting minutes from Monday, 9/27/2021.
Trustee Varian moves to approve the minutes as presented.
Trustee Piro, second. You want a roll call and everything? Ryan?
You can.
Roll call.
Barron,
Yes.
Puro.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move to the treasurer's report from 10/12/2021. Anything on there? Mr. Lowry, that we need to, everything looking good for the end of the year?
Yeah, the only thing we did not receive yet on funds is the state portion of our 2141 property tax on state, which is about $54,000, but everything else is on track. The new American Rescue Act fund is in there.
Great.
I did do the appropriation move that you approved at the last meeting of the $11,800 to go into the fire department's premium pays. So
Fiscal officer, the 209,000 and change, is that what we're going to see this year, and the rest will be in the next fiscal year?
yes, and
Okay.
next year and I don't know how soon yet. They didn't really verify that yet. If that's going to be in January, or February, we're going to see the additional 209,187.
It'll be the same number?
Well, it'll be 1 penny off.
Okay.
1 penny off.
Thank you. Trustee Varian moves to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Trustee Piro, second. Roll call.
Barron,
Yes.
Puro.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. With that, we'll move into public speaks. We have a Mr. Jeff Zavarelli up first. Please read your name and your address for the record.
Really, 2145 Argyle. I'm thinking about parceling a piece of my property off to build another house. And I want to try to get the 1-to-4 ratio consistent with the existing property. It's not gonna match, but both of you guys will let me pull it off.
So for where he's at, it has to be an acre. They're wondering if they get close to that acre, would that be allowable, or should we move it to like a BZA hearing?
Is the acre for the split? Like, would you be splitting just under an acre?
Yes. I
Okay.
spoke with the health department, and they said that I could probably go under an acre for my septic.
I was gonna say, the next question was gonna be septic, yeah.
Yeah,
Have you spoke to regional planning?
yes. I've been talking with Paige,
Okay,
and we've been going back and forth about Osnaburg zoning has to give me the okay, and Brenda said has to be regional planning. I'm kind of getting cat and mouse here.
got it.
Yeah, I don't think it would be anything, it would have to go to the BZA, and then as long as you meet all the as long as you pass through that and meet all the requirements through regional planning, I mean, it shouldn't be an issue, I would think.
So if it's outside of our book, it would be a variance.
Yes.
Now, if you give me the okay and Paige says I don't have to have the variance, it's okay for you guys?
We can't give you the
We-
okay.
we-
The Board of
yeah.
Zoning Appeals will do, you have to file with them, and then they'll have a hearing, and they'll look over what you're proposed to do, and that they'll have the vote on that.
Okay,
And it's a group of Osnaburg Township residents. It's not outside of our
right.
group. Yeah.
Yeah, she said I just have to get letters from joining neighbors.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Right. Well, everybody that's in connection to that property would.
Yeah.
know.
Our office will send that letter.
Okay,
Our office sends that letter to adjoining property lines for the hearing, and they can choose to come or choose not to come.
okay.
It's their prerogative, and they can choose to speak or choose not to speak, and the board will make the decision on their own accord. They have to vote, and there's got to be a quorum on that. But
Okay.
so people, your neighbors are allowed to speak. You might have a crowd, you may not. Just kind of
They have
depends.
no problem.
Yeah, right. So it being outside of our book, if our book clearly states that it has to be an acre for a lot split, we'd have to look at a variance. If that variance is accepted, then yes. And then regional planning, if we give that to regional planning and say our Board of Zoning Appeals has approved that, they're going to also approve that.
Okay, so,
And then they're also going to ask you again, they're going to say, make sure your septic fits, because a lot of times in the world of zoning books, that we have a rule, and then you get to your septic guy, and the septic guy's like, there's not enough room.
right.
And the health department says, well, you can't put a septic system in here. There's not enough space.
Well, that's why I wanted to see if I could get the okay or whatever before I start spending money to get the
Right.
soil scientist in there.
Completely understand.
I don't want to start dumping money and then the board or whoever says, no, I can't do it anyways.
Mary, would they do like approval pending the septic approval and that, or what would you suggest, Did
They would probably, they might be able to do approval pending based on septic. I know when we did it for the one on Mapleton, there was already septic there, so that was just straight approved.
Okay.
So it may be, if you get this, we'll approve it. I'm not sure. But it shouldn't be a major issue.
Isn't the normal procedure if Mr. Zarelli goes into the board, schedules that board, they look at it, they could approve what they see, then it goes to regional planning, then you wait till that result comes back. If everybody matches up, then it comes back to these guys to do the approval, right? Or does it even have to go that way once the zoning does?
Once the zoning goes, it may not have to go.
You don't have to go any further.
Yeah.
So that will take at least a month to schedule to do that right there.
Because
At least on a minimum.
Yeah.
Because you have to advertise it, the legal side of it, we have to advertise at least 11 days, actually 14 days before that meeting. And then once we have that meeting, the zoning will have that meeting, you'll be there, any other,
because it is a public hearing.
yeah, you have to
That's
have,
fine.
and then once that's done, the zoning board could approve it
Approve
They
the
would approve
variance. Yep.
and approve the variance, but it still would go to regional planning to get their blessing, or if they say something else, but at that point, you would know if you can carry on.
Okay, so I go to the hearing and you guys approve the lot size. So then you'd send that to regional planning and they'd say yay or nay as far as the variance?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I say. That's what.
You'll have to work
Yeah.
with, you'll have to work with Mary to
It's
file for
zoning.
that hearing.
Yeah,
You just
so-
have to file some paperwork
So,
to pay that fee.
Just as a point of reference, and I don't want the regional planning to get mad at me by saying this,
No
but
worries. This is-
regional planning is in fact a governing board that helps little people like us because
Right.
they have lots of resources and power. And at the end of the day, we do not have to go on what regional planning says.
Yeah.
Now, if we choose to buck that system and there's a lawsuit later, they're not helping us.
Well, I don't want you guys.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't want you
So-
guys arguing then.
Yeah,
Everybody
don't-
has to work together.
Don't think
I
that
get all
regional planning is the end all because really they're a board that helps us, but they're not the final say. So we typically do what regional planning, and we typically work very well together. If we agree, they agree. But just so you're aware, if it lands here and it's approved, doesn't necessarily mean that regional planning can shut it down and you're done. That's not the case.
Okay.
So just as kind of a point of reference. So
Okay, so when will the hearing be? You say the 11th?
You'd have to look.
you have to do the math. on the
November
calendar.
1st would be the first Monday of the month.
And we would have time to advertise that, no, if you wanna.
So yeah, we meet the 25th and then we'll meet the 8th.
So I
Or
would have to
second,
have that notice to you by this Friday.
Yeah, get it to me this Friday. It'll go in the paper along with on our website. So it'll be out there in allowed time and then you can make it happen with your zoning board.
Yeah, so that first is the next meeting. Yeah.
So it'd be November 1st
That'd
at
be
6 or 6:30. Let me double check the time
No
and I'll
worries.
get back to you on that.
Okay.
You have the number then?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
like I said, I've been dealing with this for a
Perfect.
couple of weeks.
Yeah,
now.
you've
I
been
didn't
back and
stand
forth. I
still.
get you. Yeah,
So, he said,
Yeah.
before I start dumping money, I want to make sure I can split it off.
understood.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We're here to help you. We're not here to hold you back.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to see the progress there. Thank you.
All right. Tammy and Dave Hunter. Who wants to go first? Please stand.
It's same thing, I'm Dave Hunter, it's 2707 Klotz Avenue. What we've got is they have a proposed road that runs through it. We've taken all of the lots and we're trying to incorporate them into one instead of a bunch of lots. There's not even access to the back lots. There is no Lucy Avenue, there's no 16th Street. So we're wanting to create one farm and it's already been approved. She has a copy of the county stuff. It is already agricultural, it was changed from commercial. So we just need to vacate 15th Street that's going through my property so that we can make it one lot. That's it.
So how many parcels are you pushing together?
14
14 parcels into one?
into one.
I talked
What does
to,
it say?
Over Klotz and Lucy and 15th there,
Yeah.
Klotz
Yeah.
allotment.
That's clear in the back.
Yeah. I talked to Trustee Griffith about it,
Okay.
just see how to go about it a little bit. She wanted me to double check there was no nuisances or anything, and there is not, and that's as far as we got on that so far.
So do we have to give up the right of way on 15th Street, the road that doesn't exist?
I'll be honest with you, the time I've been here, 9 years, I've never done that where we've given up property. So I would like
Okay,
to research that before I
yeah,
would.
Well, what he's talking about 15th, if I'm correct, if I turned on Effinger, go down over the swale and go around the curve there, 15th used to go off to the right, back towards Georgetown, right?
No, that's 14th.
That's 14th?
This
Yeah.
is the one right next to Bruce.
There is no-
property.
Yeah.
Where
There's no
15th just
physical
dead
road
ends there going
Yeah.
towards.
There's no physical.
There
Going
is no
towards
15th
Lucy.
Street at all.
I
It would, it
not-
would start at Broadway
yeah,
and come across the back, come across where the tree people are, and then across my neighbor's yard, and it goes to Lucy Avenue, which does not exist.
right.
Right. I know where it ends back.
yeah.
Right.
Mary.
That used to be a community church. It was a black church, and
Sir, are all 14 parcels all ag?
yes,
All of them are.
Yes.
There's no commercial business,
No.
nothing else dabbled in.
no,
That'll make it
everything,
a lot easier.
everything was, we had everything changed to agricultural.
Okay,
I do have other farms, and I run it as a farm. It's a horse rescue.
okay.
That's where 15th, at the end of that 15th where it is now, used to come clear up there to Lucy. in between those last two houses, I think. I remember somebody talking about that.
And what's
That
total,
was a
what's
long
total
time
acreage
ago.
on, when it gets to one, what will total acreage be?
15.5.
Okay, got it. All right.
It's not a big parcel.
Yeah, there's a lot of little.
Yeah.
I think we have to talk to the county engineer
We have- yeah.
about
Well,
this.
that's what I say, the Stark County
Yeah.
engineer, we gotta go to them, because whenever that's in the drawings initially, if we're gonna give it up, there has to be a protocol for you all to approve that. But I wanna make sure, I would even talk to the prosecutor just to make sure, to get their opinion, if there's anything we have to worry about. I don't think there is, but I've never done it before.
So right now,
I'll
the
call
gov-
down to the engineer's office tomorrow and I'll find out what we have
If
to
you
do.
could speed it up.
Okay, because they actually, the engineering office actually said, come to you guys, and if you approved it, they can vacate it.
Make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We just gotta find out
Right.
what all the legal steps
Right.
are and
So
we'll.
just for point of clarity, so I'm picturing this, does 15th go entirely between the two parcels, or is it a?
Actually, she has a
Is it a
picture of
dead
it,
end?
and I have a picture too.
Oh, great, thank you.
There's
Actually, 15th Street is my driveway,
Okay.
and there is a house sitting on in the middle of 15th Street.
So 15th Street goes from edge to edge of the property.
Yes,
Okay, so it doesn't dead end and your property goes around it, it would be, so
right.
we've got to make sure that we're doing this right, because if it was continuous around it, it's touching land, so it makes it a lot easier, but we're physically giving up this right away. Do you know if are we receiving tax dollars on that road that doesn't exist, Brian?
No.
Even if it's not in the map, if it's on the map and they never built it, it doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing, the only thing that's just gonna disappear from.
Because it's
there.
all measured,
Got it.
lengths and widths and everything. That one would be
All right.
shown on.
So on that, so we vacate that, then you're paying taxes on that strip.
Right.
All
Thank you,
right.
that helps a lot.
Well, I'll be in contact with you and we'll get it in the works and we'll
Okay.
get her taken care of as fast as we can.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. We'll move on to Janet Eden.
Well, I'm just here to observe.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. If that, we're gonna move to fire report.
Good evening.
Wait, we're gonna do this.
Do you want to do this? We can do executive session first, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep. Trustee Barron would like to call an executive session. This is for personal matters. This refers to the appointment, employment, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual.
Who all are you inviting in?
I would like to have Chief Shearer with us and Fiscal Officer Lowry and yourself and myself.
Okay, times 7:47, trustee Piro will second, roll call,
Varian,
Yes.
Piero,
yes.
what's gonna happen, I'm gonna put the camera on pause, the recorder goes off, and then we're gonna step out.
Yep.
Okay?
Sounds good.
You guys are welcome to stay.
You guys
or
are welcome to go and stay.
wherever you-
Actually, we haven't eaten supper yet. I think.
Hey, all right.
I'm going. Tim.
Wait, no, Stewie, we gotta keep you. Thank you. Thanks. So 15th was never put in.
No.
Okay.
No.
Nothing there.
No.
End to end.
Got that. That'll give you one.
It's cooler out here. It's hot now. All that hot air.
Okay,
Are you all set?
we're all set. Good.
All right, so
Trustee Varian makes a motion to come out of executive session, back into regular session at 8:31.
No action being taken.
No action being taken from our executive session. We just had discussion. Thank you.
Roll call, Varian,
Yes.
Piro.
Yes. All right, fire report.
So the first issue I have, I'd like to get approval for Dale Nelson to get promoted to captain, and if we can make it retroactive to October 3rd, are we able to do that? Because he's already started taking on some responsibility
Remind me again of whose role he's filling.
when Dane Whitsett left.
Dane, thank you. Dane Whitsett. Okay.
So the pay period started on October 3rd. So I don't know, Are we able to
I
do
can
that?
do that.
Can you do that?
Yeah,
Can you
because
do the
we-
math
we-
backwards on that?
We aren't, we'll be working on that pay for next week.
Yes. that's
Okay.
correct.
All right. Did you said October 3rd, retroactive to October 3rd?
Yeah.
And that,
Alright. Sure.
his hourly rate, where he's at now.
Does his hourly rate change?
his-
Yes, it will change.
From, do I need to have the numbers or can you look that up?
So
I mean, I can look it up, but
it's
I.
1455 currently,
Okay.
and I don't want to say the wrong number.
I can put it in there.
So it's,
He's the next level up, right?
Well, there's a lieutenant spot that I can't remember what that one is offhand either, but he's going to the captain's position, so
okay,
whatever.
so
whatever that
two,
is,
from what he is now to captain.
to captain,
I'm sorry, did you say Dale?
Dale Nelson.
Dale, because I saw D, I want to make sure I was right. Okay. Trustee Varian moves to promote Dale Nelson to captain, retroactive to October 3rd. Dale's hourly rate was $14.55, and we'll be moving it to the captain rate.
Trustee Piro, second, roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Piro.
Yes.
So he was unavailable tonight, so I'd like to do the swearing in at the next meeting. He wanted to have his family here. So if that's okay, we'll do that on October 25th.
Great. Just as a point of reference, oh, never mind, our special meeting's early, we're good. We have a special meeting early that day,
Well, we have a work session
Work
before that meeting at 6.
Yep. so we're good for the
Yeah,
regular
we're
7:30 then.
Yeah.
Great.
Is there a limit to how many people he's allowed to have here? I believe it's only going to be his mom, but there might,
Well,
I don't know.
No,
No,
fill those seats.
up to 46.
That's right.
well, that's set by the fire chief. though.
Yeah, that's set by the fire. That's right.
That's actually set by the building department.
Yeah, there you
Oh, he backs it up though.
Yeah, I do back it up at the building department. sets on
With
it.
all this modern technology, we can always move them out in the
That's right.
hallway.
That's
and
true.
Outside the
That's
door.
true. All right.
So I don't have this on the agenda, but we need to order a device that we use for patients that are full arrest. It's called an IO drill. And Amy found out that if we go through Quad Ambulance to order them, they're $75 a piece. We need to get 2 of them. If we did it on our own, I think they're $150 a piece. So we're
So
saving
can we just pay
50%.
quad and buy 2 from them?
That's what the game plan was.
Yeah.
When Amy talked to me, she mentioned
Okay.
that we would be billed by quad for them.
So
Okay.
it'll be $150 for both of them, but then we'll get that money reimbursed later because of our EMS grant that we have. We get an EMS grant every year. We're able to take that money back out of that. So
Okay.
For approval for the $150 to order them through Quad Ambulance.
Got it. Trustee Varian moves to approve 2 IO drills. Is that right?
IO drills, yeah.
IO drills. Approve 2 IO drills at $75 a piece, total of $150, which the bill will come through quad.
Trustee Piro, second, roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Piro.
Yes.
And the only other thing I have is you see the call volume, and I started breaking it apart by pay period, like Fiscal Officer Lowry had mentioned. So you'll see it looking like that moving forward. And then what's gonna happen, if you look at the second pay period, it says October 3rd to October 16th. So obviously we're not done with that yet.
Okay.
So now at the next meeting, that section will move up and it'll have the full call volume for the pay period.
Okay.
And then the new pay period below that will have a partial and it'll be like that moving forward.
So you had 11 fire on that last pay period? That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, but that could have been anything, open burns, wires down,
Okay.
anything that's not where we take an ambulance
And
out.
just to have this in record, we had 12 mutual aids on that pay period. 5 from Louisville Fire and 7 from Quad. And then we did we supported by mutual aid 4, Great Trail, Canton City, Mohawk, and Canton Township. I think that's important right now as we're talking about staffing. So 12 times somebody else came to someone's door at Osnaburg. not us.
Trustees, to let you know, Chief is working on the one other part of what I asked for to be able to pay these premium pays was when they submit their time report in, along with what Chief has prepared here. That's the check and balance. So when I get the time sheets, it'll have everybody's breakdown on that of how many hours they were out on actual runs on there.
Okay.
So that's one other step. I will let you know UAN, where I do all the software, I did talk to them and work through a preliminary test. And this thing looks like it's going to work good. Matter of fact, and I know I shared this with Trustee Miriam, they asked me how I'm doing that. Like it's the first time anybody ever did it the way I'm doing it. But I said, I got a good paper trail. I can show an auditor every step of what we're doing. The fire chief and Amy, the way they're preparing, I am asking them to prepare a little differently. But this way, when we look at these reports, everything will match up. And that's what will happen to be in an audit. They're going to look at all that.
Yep.
So
we asked for a royalty, didn't we, Brian?
no, I didn't ask for it, but the guy asked me if he could share it. I said,
yeah. Put your
So
name
the
on it.
state of
Trademark
Ohio
Brian
might
Howard.
start doing it because there's 1,300
TM on
townships on there, I think. So,
You'll be remembered as the premium payment.
That's right, the premium pay guy.
That's all right.
All right, that's it for fire.
That's all I have.
That's all I have as well.
All right, let's move on to cemetery.
Ryan isn't here, but he did give me gave me an open and closing of $800 from that, I can't see that name, Zudavern, last name, for open and closing at Mapleton.
Just need a motion for it.
No, he just said he gave that to me and I've receipted that money into the treasurer's group. Also, he was kind of laid up a little bit, but him and Stu are coordinating when they're going to put that sign in. And I don't know if any of you were down there, but that grass is really growing great where he planted and
Looks
all
good.
that. It really looks good what's going in there.
I haven't had a chance to get down
Yeah.
there for a while. I want to go down and
It's-
check it out.
It really looks good.
Good.
Yeah. And that's all I really have that he shared with me to share with you all.
All right, we'll move on to the road report.
All right, good evening, everybody. The trustees have looked over the road report. Is there any questions you'd like to ask?
No.
You put up a 35-mile-an-hour signs on Sindel.
Yeah, that's all done.
People yell out the window at you when you put them up, hey, all right, 35.
Oh, yeah, I've actually had people call and say
Yeah.
we've had a couple phone calls in here saying, thank you so much for getting
That's very nice.
the signs
They
up
take time to
finally.
do that. That's great.
I don't know if it slowed anybody down.
Well,
but,
you did your heck. You tried.
right. All right.
For the record, Stuckey is open now,
Yep,
Hey,
completely done. And
totally done. Looks good.
great.
really, the berming
I need to
turned
go
out
drive on
well. And I seen, we did have a driveway that wasn't bermed properly and you've already been out there. and
Fixed it
figured
today.
out. Looks good,
He's very happy.
yeah. So,
Okay, that's great. That's great you were able to get on that right away. Thank you.
Yes.
uh,
you're looking for an additional 2,000 for.
Yes, I was gonna ask for an extra 2,000 for the RS2. We just went and got a load today, like we just talked about. That's half empty already from being out all day, so,
We good with that?
Yeah, usually they're about $600 to $700 a load in that range, so I'd suggested to Stu going 2,000, that gives him 3 loads if he needs it.
today was our 8th load for the year so far.
If this weather stays like summer, you might be able to dirt patch the rest of the week.
That's right. Go ahead and put the plows on.
Trustee Piro moves to, open a PO for 2,000 for emulsion for the Durapatcher.
Trustee Varian second.
Roll call,
Varian,
Yes.
Piro.
yes. Okay. Approval to release the first payment to Melway Paving.
Yeah, we received in the fiscal office that first bill for what they've done. There's a balance of $13,600 due yet for when they finished the berming, which we did receive today, but it was after the treasury report was done. But I would, because it's such a large amount of money, I always ask for the approval to release that $205,590 under resolution.
Trustee Piro moves to pay Melway Paving $205,590 as per agreement.
Trustee Varian second.
Roll call,
Varian,
Yes.
Piro.
yes. You have anything else, Stu?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so what happened today is I talked to Mr. Miller, the contractor who has the contract on our salt storage building. He did not turn in the correct mapping to get on to the meeting, which wouldn't. So now he is assured me that he is going to have it there by Monday at their specs to be on the November 8th meeting. So
So he can't do anything until that's approved, correct? Or can he
cannot.
start?
Nope. The reason they changed this sometime between now and last year. Our square footage is big enough. It used to be that you could go in there and get a variance. You didn't have to go to the meeting and
They'd issue it.
they'd issue you
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
They changed it now. It's over 1,000 square foot. You have to go through the public meeting, one monthly meeting.
Mhm.
He should have been there earlier.
Right.
Yes.
But he has been worked with them before and he did not require that. So that doesn't make any excuses, but that's where we are.
Okay.
That's
Did
what,
he?
So does he think he can still get it done?
Yeah, that's my
Yes,
question.
did you even ask him?
Because what happens once we get into crappy weather?
I think it all is going to depend on the, he had said nothing about not getting it done.
I don't know how fast it goes up. I don't know.
I mean, I've talked with him, and Stu's talked to him. He's hard to get a hold of. I'm glad he talked to you finally. That
Yeah,
gave
he
it to you.
contacted.
But we've heard every excuse, and it just is getting to the point where even if he does start, what happens if you get bad weather?
Yeah, he'll be in the middle of it.
I don't want to see it, the job get
Yeah,
out or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be a matter of looking at the weather, but nobody can tell you 2 weeks into November, it could
Could be
be
beautiful.
70 degrees or it could be snowing, but if the weather,
He had 5 months to get that paperwork in line.
You got November 8th. Usually you start getting crappy weather and it gets cold at night. So I don't know how quick he can get it done. We need to
Yeah.
stay on him.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Trustees.
he
Well,
told me,
And we probably should.
good faith estimate, that he has everything else is ready.
Everything else is ready.
This is the only thing that's holding it up. As soon as this goes,
Okay.
we're on.
That's a whole month from now.
Well, it is what it is. That's where we're at.
Okay.
And,
Well, I would tell Stu we can't pre-order our salt then.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what we do, guys, is we wait for that meeting to land, and then the next couple days we say, okay, where are we? You've got your approval. Are we ready to go, or are we talking about you're coming out in December? In that case, we got
Get it.
Yeah, in that case, it's next year.
Stu's got to be able to prepare what we're going
That's
to
right.
do on salt.
I
He
understand.
has to have the stuff to regional planning on Monday.
Okay.
to be in the November.
To be in the
meeting.
November meeting.
He told
By
me
next Monday?
this coming Monday.
Okay.
Today's Tuesday. Yeah.
He said, I will hand deliver it. I will call you when he comes. That's what he told me, and I will keep. So as long as he keeps on me, contacting me, I'll keep on.
He hasn't proven.
I think once that meeting hits, we just got to get on him and say,
If
hey,
he doesn't get the stuff there by Monday, it's off. He's not going to be on. You have to, 20 days. You have to be in 20 days early.
Right. That's why I say,
Okay.
guys that being in business and stuff, put the heat on him.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is
Yeah.
he's procrastinated long enough. I think he's a good guy and he means well, but
put
I
up some
don't.
tents and blow
He
heaters in
had
it.
5 months to be.
He had
getting all this
5
in
months.
it,
It was
and
approved on May 11th. He should have went up there the next month.
3-4
and
weeks
got
ago
them
is when I started nailing him, calling
I
him, begging him,
don't
pestering
argue
him.
with you on that.
Well, I'm
That's-
not
that's what
looking
he
for an
started.
argument. I'm just looking at, that's why I say stay on him.
I think we stay on him.
Stay on him.
All right.
All right, that's where we're at. And like I said, I'll have more next meeting. We'll know.
Yeah.
I talked
Well,
to,
maybe the ground will be breaking. No, that has to be after the 8th.
well, I'll keep in contact with
Next meeting, everyone gets a shovel, hand them out on the way in.
the lady from regional planning, make sure he's got it. And that way we know where we're at.
I'm not telling him to bring a shovel, he's loading my truck with a shovel.
Well, we just get just big cars. Let's go to zoning.
So since we last met, there were 4 permits issued. So we got about 195 in.
Say no to that first one.
Hey, Mary, Mr. Zavarelli that was here tonight asking about the lot split and all that stuff. Does he have to submit in, or did he already? Because something tells me I saw it come across my desk to file like for that, a permit to even do that.
He called and wanted to talk about maybe doing it, but he hasn't submitted anything.
So you'll see a lot split for him once she gets it, like this one has.
Yeah. But usually when you have a hearing, you collect money.
On the front end, that's right.
And I never saw anything from him, I don't think,
Not yet.
without going in there and looking around. That's why I was just wondering.
Well, I
'Cause
think
he-
he was just trying to figure out which way to turn.
Yeah, well, he has to do that meeting, he has to submit in that
So-
what is that, 170?
175.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has to at least start that.
Yeah.
And if the worst case scenario, that would be all he's out of.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's not refundable.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's non-refundable.
That's not refundable.
That's what I'm gonna call him tomorrow.
Okay.
for everything.
Yep, great.
They've already got one scheduled for that night.
What?
I said you've already got one already on. for
Scheduled for that night.
No. You talking about the one over on Broadway?
November 1st, the Hicks one.
The Hicks one.
I talked to him and he saw kind of what steps he wants to do before that hearing. So he's going to take a little longer to prepare everything
Okay.
and he's
So
going to
he
get
withdrew
back
from
to
that
me.
hearing. Okay.
He's going to get back to me when
Okay.
he can meet again.
So
Okay.
that hearing is postponed right now?
Mhm.
So the Hicks one is not the
That's
first.
that was Mr. Hicks?
Yeah.
Brian?
Over on Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So nuisance side, got a call about Clover Ridge and Brown Harrigan, that corner lot there. I called the owner. She tried to call the mowing company, hasn't heard back from them. So she's trying to look at some other outfit to maybe mow it. She's hopefully getting it mowed 2 to 3 times a year.
Okay.
With whatever company she goes with.
But she was responsive to it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what she said. I tried to call them, they don't call back, so.
Gotcha.
So that's taken care of. The other 3 on there, haven't really seen any change since the last time we met.
Have you talked to the neighbor of Swollen, of 255 Swollen?
Not lately.
Okay.
I haven't
I didn't
heard
know.
anything.
I didn't know if the building of the building was going to satisfy, because it's been kind of a long-standing complaint of the multiple vehicles. I'm hoping the building is big enough for the vehicles to fit in, so that kind of helps that cause, but I was just curious, so.
I haven't
thank
heard
you.
anything from back.
All right.
One thing I failed to put on there, you remember how we had that complaint about the lights over on Clear Haven?
The bright LEDs.
There were the two different properties with the lights. One was kind of like floodlight and the other, well, they called a while back about the floodlight. That one was readjusted and everything. And we were going to send a letter at the last meeting. I drove by to double check which property it was for sure. And it's like a lamp post kind of light. So there's nothing really changed about it. It's just a standard lamp post light.
Oh. It's not directional.
Like a
It's
night
not
light,
directional.
pole light like you'd have out along the roads and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not
The only thing would be is if they can put a shade that in an angle that it's going.
Yeah.
Towards the road, yeah.
So was the property owner responsive to moving the angle of the light? Did we talk
I
to them?
haven't talked to them yet because I talked to Brenda about it.
Okay.
And since it's non-directional,
Yep.
and it's an older lady that lives there, she said, I wouldn't worry about it. So that was kind of her case, just let it be for now, and if it becomes a bigger issue, we can deal with it then.
All right. Thank you.
And that's all I had.
All right. Old business.
I just put that in there on the agenda to remind you that we have the two attorneys coming about the Seacoast property at 6 o'clock at your next meeting, work session.
6 o'clock on the
Just a
25th.
reminder that, because both Charlie Hall and Phil Francis will be here to answer all your questions.
Okay.
So be prepared. Everything I, shared with you, if there's anything you want, Mr. Francis asked if you want to shoot things to him ahead of time so he could be more prepared of any questions you may ask. I told him some of the things I know we're going to ask is all the parcels. Like, what if this happens? What if we don't want this? Or what happens, all these different scenarios. He said he would be prepared for that. But if there's other questions you may have, I want to shoot that to him. So he can come in here, both Charlie Hall will be on the clock, but Mr. Francis, he's the trust attorney for the Seacoast Trust.
Yep.
He's offered to come in and answer this question because he wants to keep everything moving forward.
And you sent an email to us that both confirmed.
Yeah.
So we're good. That's great. Thank you.
All right. Any,
The next one there on the agenda, trustees, do you have any additional questions for Greg Beck? He's the firm that I want to send all the questions regarding the the American Rescue Act money, other usage that you trustees would decide. We did decide on the premium pay for the fire department. Our attorney fees for him are also covered. So you might see me, once I know what that is, come again to you for appropriation approval to pay him. But Brenda Griffith, Trustee Griffith, had gave me questions that I needed other questions. I'd like just to get hers to him so he has a nice list of questions that he can come to a meeting. I want him to come too, where you can sit down and we can ask him, because he said he would come.
Great.
And I like him here. Because moving forward, I know Trustee Griffith had a lot of questions regarding different projects that she saw that she would like to use this CARES Act money for, along with the fire department premium.
Okay.
And I want to make sure we get all of your input and let him be prepared when he comes.
Are you thinking November for him?
I am, but I'd
Okay.
like to, if I could get the questions to him, Trustee Griffith gave me a list. I would like to get additional questions to him from both of you
Okay.
that he can be prepared, then I can set that date up.
Okay.
And it
Great.
seemed like what you did at the last meeting, we gave all these attorneys 4 weeks and they all, yep, we'll be here. So I think he'll be the same way. I just want to give him good heads up.
All right. Sounds good.
new business, Republic Disposal.
Yeah, my question is, this is the time of the year where Republic Recycling Disposal here at the Township Hall and over at the fire department, it's like a 3-year contract time. and that contract is up at the end of this year in December. And you gotta be making moves 2 months before and send letters and certified letters. And I just asked permission because Kimball has contacted us, and they would like to do a proposal, which they did 3 years ago. And their proposal was within $5 a month or per service.
Brian, is this waste or is this also recycling?
This is just
Dumpster.
dumpster. We have a 4-yarder here.
Yep.
And they have just a trash can, a big trash can at the fire station.
All the recycling's different contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
just
we
the
don't even
waste.
have a contract
Oh,
with the
okay.
recycling.
We provide space.
Yeah.
All right.
We just try to make them not tear up the fire station parking lot.
In my opinion, if Kimball wants to bid it, let's let him.
Well, I was gonna ask you, if it all goes fast, will you give me the green light to negotiate?
Can we make a motion that you get the
Yes,
approval on that?
because I want to really look at Kimball this time to see if it's a good move. The only problems I've had with Republic is billing issues. It's always billing. I get a bill.
I had the same
The same issues.
When I get it, you can't blame it on the pandemic because ever
I know.
since this happened,
I know.
I get a bill that's dated when I open it 14 days earlier and you got 7 days to pay it. Well, if we don't have a meeting, I'm getting notices that I'm paying late. And I've tried to do direct with them. I've tried to do everything, and it just seems like they don't have a good system. That's my hang up with them. As far as a service, if we need an extra pickup, make a phone call,
Right.
they work good that way.
Trustee Varian moves to allow fiscal officer Brian Lowry to make a decision on waste management here at the Osnaburg Township Garage and the fire station. He will look at both Republic Waste Services and Kimball and check prices for both.
Trustee Piro, second, roll call.
Varian, Piro,
Yes,
thank you.
that's all I got, unless you got seasonal weight limits will be coming into effect through the Stark County engineer.
Can't be so heavy.
Yeah, that's just a letter. I think all of you, I gave you a copy of, and Stu has it. This is the time of the year where Stark County engineer is requesting a list of township roads that you might want to have legally posted for seasonal weight. I think we're good. Stu can probably verify
I
that.
think the ones that we have, the signs are already up and everything.
All right,
So that's it.
one more motion.
Trustee Varian moves to adjourn and pay bills.
Trustee Piro, second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye. Thank you, guys.
How are you, Dan? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm out from bank for a while.
How are you doing?
I'm good.